into operations with fractions, there are a couple of things that you should know. There are specific rules that apply to operations in the terms of like addition and subtraction. So there are certain rules for addition and subtraction, and there's a different rule for multiplication, and there's a different rule for division. So we're going to start off with the rules for addition and subtraction with fractions. And remember, they're the same. So when we're adding and subtracting fractions, we need to make sure that the denominator is the same. The denominator is the bottom number. Okay? So here, let's try a different color, just so it's easy to differentiate. Here, we have a 9 and a 16. These are different. Once we have the denominators the same, we can add them. So like, let's say we have 1/3 plus 1/3. Because the denominators are the same, we can add them. And when we add them, we keep the denominator the same, and we just add the numerators, or the number on top. 1 plus 1 is 2, okay? Here, in this example, they're not the same. So what do? Well, we multiply them by each other, okay? So this side, we're going to multiply by 16. And whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top as well. And this side, we're going to multiply by 9. Okay? So, let's do 16 times 9. I'm going to do the math over here so we can take a look at it to make it easy to see. 9 times 6 is 54. We're going to carry the 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 144. So, that's going to be our denominator over here. Sixteen times 5, 5 times 6 is 30. We put the 0, we carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8. So we end up with 80 over 144. Plus, we know here 16 times 9 is 144. And now let's do 13 times 9, so we can get the numerator for this one. So 9 times 3 is 27. We carry the 2. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So we have 117. Now remember, when we're adding them, the denominator stays the same, right? 144, 144, 144. And what we're doing is we're adding the number on the top, the numerator. So we're going to do 117 plus 80, and that gives me, 7 plus 0 is 7, 1 plus 8 is 9, 1 plus 0 is 1. 197 over 144. Now let's notice something. The numerator here is bigger than the denominator, okay? Which means this is actually an improper fraction, which we have to turn into a mixed number. We're going to review that a little bit later. We're not going to worry about that now. We're just going to leave it at 197 over 144. Okay? So let's go ahead and move on. Go ahead and give this one a try on your own. Remember, we're making the denominators the same by multiplying them by each other. I'm going to give you a second to try it out, and then I'll go over it with you. Okay, here we go. So like I told you, we want to make the denominators the same. So we're going to multiply by the same number on the top and the bottom. So 17 on this side, 13 on this side. Like I said, same number top and bottom. We're working with bigger numbers, but that's okay. That gets us to practice with more complicated things. So let's figure out what our denominator is going to be. So 17 times 13. 3 times 7 is 21. So we're going to put a 1 and carry the 2. 3 times 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. We're going to put that placement 0. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. So now let's add these together. 1, 5 plus 7 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 221. That is my denominator. Okay, perfect. Now let's do 17 times 8. So 8 times 7 is 56. So I'm going to put a 6 and carry the 5. 8 times 1 is 8, plus 5 is 13. So I have 136 up here, 221 on the bottom. We're going to do 221 here again. And now we're going to do 13 times 3 to get the numerator on the second fraction. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. So 13 times 3 is 39. So now we're going to add these together. Remember, the numerator stays the same. We're going to do 136 plus 39, so we can figure out what the numerator is. 6 plus 9 is 15, so we carry a 1. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7. We end up with 175. All right. Now let's take a look at the same thing, but this time we're looking at subtraction. So we're going to make the denominators the same, and then we're going to subtract the numbers. I want you to give this one a try before I go over it with you. I know we haven't done subtraction before, but because it's the same rules, I want you to give it a try anyway. Okay? I'll give you a second, and then I'll go over it with you. Okay, perfect. Here we go. So, we're going to do this side times 9, this side times 7. And whatever we do to the bottom, we're also going to do to the top. So 9 times 7 is 63. Sorry about that. 9 times 3 is 27. 1 times 7 is 7. 9 times 7 is 63. So we have 27 minus 7, which gives us 20 over 63. Okay? All right, that's our answer. Can we simplify it? Doesn't look like it. I'm going to move on. We'll have a couple other ones we can simplify that we can practice that together with. Go ahead and give this question a try before I show you how to do it. Go ahead. go. So I hope you got it. If not, don't worry. I'll go ahead and explain it to you now. If you have to hit pause, maybe rewind and look at it again and just kind of figure out at what step you went wrong. But here we go. I'll show you how to do this. So we're doing 8 on this side. Oh, sorry, no wonder. 8 on this side, top and bottom. 5 on this side, top and bottom. Because if we multiply them by each other, we get the same denominator. 8 times 2 is 16 over 8 times 5 is 40 minus 1 times 5 is 5 and 8 times 5 is 40. So now we're going to keep the denominator the same and we're going to subtract the numerator. The numerator is 16 minus 5, which gives us 11 over 40. 11 is a prime number, which means it cannot be divided by any number aside from 1 in itself. So we cannot simplify this any further. Therefore, our final answer is 11 over 40. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and take a look at the multiplication rules. So multiplication rules are pretty simple. You're just going to multiply straight across. Let's zoom this in a little bit. So 2 times 3 is 6. 9 times 16, we do got to do on the side here. It's not as obvious. 9 times 6 is 54. We put the 4 and we carry the 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So that's 6 over 144. Now this number can be simplified. We could divide both the top and the bottom by 2. So let's give that a try. 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 144 divided by 2, once again, not so obvious, so let's go ahead and work it out. 2 goes into 14 7 times. 2 times 7 is 14. 14 minus 14 is 0. We're going to bring down that 4. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 4 minus 4 is 0. So 3 over 72. Now, can we simplify this further? As a matter of fact, we can. I'm going to show you a little trick. Here, we know 3 can be divided by 3. It can be divided by itself. And 72 can also be divided by 3. Well, how do I know that off the top of my head? It's not because I'm a math genius. I just know a little trick. If we look at a number, 72, for example, in this case here, we can tell if it can be divided by 3 by taking the numbers 7 and 2 and adding them to each other. And we get the sum. If the sum can be divided by 3, then the number 72 can be divided by 3. So let me give you another example of this. 144 equals 1 plus 4 plus 4. I'm looking at the sum of all the numbers in this digit. 1 plus 4 plus 4 is 9. Can 9 be divided by 3? Yes, it can, which means 144 can be divided by 3. Does that make sense? I hope so. So, with that said, let's do 72 divided by 3. Let's divide 3 top and bottom. 3 divided by 3 is 1. Let's put some equal signs here. And we're going to do 3 into 72 because that one's not as obvious either. 3 goes into 7 2 times. 3 times 2 is 6. Bring down the 2. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 12 minus 12 is 0. So that means that this is, oops, sorry about that. This is 24. This is the answer to this. Okay? Now, that took us a little bit longer because we had quite a bit of simplification to do here. And I also showed you a trick with 3s. So we can see how we can tell if a number can be divided by 3 or not. So don't get discouraged. Not all these questions are going to take you this long. Let's take a look at another one. Okay? So next one, 7/12 times 3/14. I'm going to go over, actually I'm going to let you do this one on your own. Give this one a try. I'm going to do that for you. Give this one a try, and I will come back and show you how to do it. All right, good. Go ahead and good luck. So let me go over this one with you. Remember, we're not giving them the same denominators. We're just multiplying across. So we're going to do 7 times 3 over 12 times 14. Okay? 7 times 3 is 21. 12 times 14, we're going to work out here on the side because that one's a little more complicated. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 plus 0 is 8. 4 plus 2 is 6. 1 plus 0 is 168. So it's 21 over 168. I got those numbers confused. Now, can we divide the top and the bottom by a number? Because we need to simplify this, right? 21 over 168. I'm going to put it down here so it's easier to see. Well, yes, we can divide by 3. 2 plus 1 is 3, which can be divided by 3. And 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 8 is 15, and 15 can be divided by 3. Remember the rule of 3 I taught you. So let's go ahead and divide both of these numbers by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 168 divided by 3, I'm going to do over here. I'm going to do it a little lower so we have space to work. So 3 goes into 16 5 times. 3 times 5 is 15, which gives me a remainder of 1. I bring down the 8. 3 goes into 18 6 times. So I end up with, 7 over 56. Now, can I simplify this further? Yes, I can. I can actually divide by 7 top and bottom. Because 7 can be divided by 7, and 56 can be divided by 7. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 56 divided by 7 is 8. So my answer to number 6 is 1 over 8. All right, I hope you got that. I hope that was straightforward enough. We're going to move forward to division. If there was something you didn't understand in multiplying fractions, I encourage you to go back, rewind, and kind of see what you didn't get, okay? All right, let's look at division. So division is a little bit different. It has its own set of rules. Some people like to cross-multiply with division. I don't recommend that you cross-multiply with division because sometimes people cross-multiply and they get confused. So I'm going to show you a way that you're going to always get it right and you're going to avoid confusion always, okay? So, first things first. Let's simplify this number, 9 over 12. I want us to work with small numbers. The small numbers help us to do less work in the long run. So, let's divide by 3, top and bottom here, and rewrite our question. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. And this is divided by 6 over 7. Okay, now that we have something more simple to work with, let's look at the rules. When you are dividing with a fraction, what you do is you take the second fraction you flip it, and you multiply it. Now, what the heck does this mean? Don't worry, I'll show you. 3 over 4, and now because we're going to flip this second fraction, it becomes 7 over 6. This is called a reciprocal, okay? And we're going to turn that into a multiplication sign. So now, 3 times 7 is 21, and 4 times 6 is 24, and these can be simplified. We can divide by 3 on the top and the bottom. 21 divided by 3 is 7, and 24 divided by 3 is 8. So our answer to number 7 is 7 over 8. So just to recap, when we're multiplying with fractions, when we're dividing with fractions, we take the second fraction, we flip it, and we multiply them. Okay? So, I want you to give that a try. Let's see. Do we have another one? Yes, we do. With number 8. So give number 8 a try. It looks like these are perfectly simplified, so you don't have to worry about simplifying them. Just flip that second fraction and multiply. I will give you a chance to work this out on your own, and then I'll go over it with you. Good luck. I hope you got it. Here we go. I'm going to go over the question with you. So like I said, when we're dividing, I keep saying the wrong one. When we're dividing with fractions, we take the second one and we flip it. So we multiply by the reciprocal. So this becomes 3/8 times 2 over 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 8 times 1 is 8. We're going to divide by 2 on the top and the bottom because we want to simplify. These are both even numbers, so I know I can divide them by 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. 8 divided by 2 is 4. And our answer for number 8 is 3 over 4. If you like daily questions, join us on Facebook and Instagram. And if you'd like to know more about our free ASVAB events, text @ASVAB free to 81010. Good luck as you study for the ASVAB.